Lots of weird noises before we kick things off. Hello, Tori, and welcome to Friends from Work. What's up, colleagues? Appreciate your patience. Running a horrible 5 minutes late today. Michael Dean was handling some business, so I told him I would take over, and that meant that I had to upload a whole bunch of stuff real quick. And yeah, so how are you doing, girl?
I'm doing well. I have a little bit of a sore throat, so I'm going to be talking kind of like down here. I knew people would ask how the date went.
I meant to text you to see if it would be okay to ask, but girl, we can't like have that discussion and then not have that discussion. You know what I'm saying? As I'm setting my
I do
lighting
know.
up. So like, talk to us. Like, what the deal, yo?
It went great.
Yay. And I knew this because me and Sarah were texting her, like, are you alive? Yes. Tori, without getting too into the deets, because these are people's private lives, like, talk to us about like the general overview. Give us like, what were the vibes like?
So we went to this place that was really casual just for some beers, which I love. No, that's not why I have a sore throat. He looked exactly like his picture or even better. He said I looked cuter in person.
How do you feel about that comment?
I get it a lot. When people recognize me, they're like, you're a lot thinner in person. I'm like, thanks so
I
much.
kind of got that because I just know what you look like and I don't care. But like, I get that from like men that would meet you and me and they'd be like, oh, Tori's cute. I think you have little sister vibes on TV. But then when people see you, people are like, oh, all right now.
Okay. So
yeah.
we
Like
talked
you walk
about
past a black barber shop. All right, girl. That's why I kind of like, I don't want to say I want to ever bring back catcalling, but I feel like black men over the age of 65 because it's harmless and it's adorable. All right, girl. I see you over there.
When I get catcalled, Al, I bow. Like I'm super into it. We talked about our backgrounds and him and his firefighting ways. And I was so excited to be like, oh, and I'm a talk show host. But he had previously dated a morning talk show host. So that
Were you more
was
famous than her? Let's be honest about what's important here.
I said I'm more famous, but he's used to going to like galas and like eating steak and being like, you're doing great, honey, and be like talking to people, how you doing? And I'm like, that's kind of what I need someone like that. And he was just really kind and really sweet. And he called and texted me to say he had a really good time. I'm hoping he asks me out on a second, but none so far.
Okay. Like how long has it, how can anybody date a liberal? Ask Showstopper. I don't know.
How
You'd
can
be
anyone
surprised.
date a conservative? That's how I feel.
I think Showstopper, if you're a real person, I hope you are. I hope you realize that there was a point in time where people just dated and they didn't identify their entire lives with one word. And I hope you get there.
I hope we get there too. But yeah, people in DC who are conservative apparently aren't getting laid very well. Or not at all. I mean, not very well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys would be like, as long as it's happening, it doesn't have to be very well. So, okay, what was the highlight of the night? And where's your realistic clock in terms of like, I should have heard from him by now. Like, how does that work after a good date?
So he called me an hour after the date. Oh, no, he called me like 5 minutes after the date. And I didn't pick up because it was an unknown number. Because he asked me for my digits and I didn't put his name in already yet. So I was like, oh, who's this? And then he got my number and we texted, today. But I was hoping for because we talked about dive bars, how much I love a good dive bar. And he was like, I was hoping for let's go to second date on a dive bar, I said. And he was like, absolutely. So Kelly, my friend, who's a producer at Colorado and Company, is like, first of all, remember the Hinge glitch? She was like, he has blocked you. And then I wrote him and it turned green, Al. And she's like, he has fully blocked you.
Which would have been, which isn't her hating. That's like a reasonable conclusion to come to.
Totally. And it turns out, and then I said, Android, is this your first red flag? And then I just waited and no response. And I'm like, oh no, I've been blocked. Turns out he does have an Android and he was probably like fishing because he was in Montana or so. I don't know. But I'm really hoping we go on a second date. So The highlight was, I know what it was. He's going to Italy alone to study, to look at the history and the art. He's like big into the Roman Empire, like a lot of guys are. And he's like, next trip I'm taking to Italy is a romantic trip with the missus. And I was like, I'll get my passport ready.
Did he identify who the missus would be? Okay.
I said, I'll get my passport. And then I was like, I speak Italian. I spent a year, like, I tried to put myself in that situation. And
he'll be like, great. Can me and my girl call you if we're having an issue at the front desk?
Pronto. So we will see. Please keep your manifestations out there. It was like my first good date in a long, I've only had like 3 dates, but yeah. So
and
yeah.
it's
So
like, you could have as many dates as you want, and the reason is that you're being selective and you're being thoughtful in your process. And I do like and Shelly said, this sounds so good, Tori. When Sarah and I got your text yesterday, we both high-fived. Like, we're so happy. But you know what? As the longer I live, as I've creeping up on a half century, like, I don't go all in. So if this doesn't work, I'm always like, we can probably pull something good out of this. Tori's starting to get more out of her shell. This is the great first date. You never know.
exactly.
But like, this was like, this is a good thing. And he promised to take you to a dive bar, which it's interesting how context means everything, because that could also be, girl, I put on my best dress and he said our next date is going to be the dive bar. But you're like, dive bar? We got in a fight, girl. Yeah.
And he said in Montana, they're dive bars. He was like, in Montana, I was like, do they have he was like, it's real dive bars. Like, it's not trendy. Yeah. Like, there's bar fights. And I was like, whoa, I've never seen a fight. Oh, and really quickly, there was a dog on leash with nobody running down Spear, the middle of Spear Boulevard this morning. And a FedEx guy got out and started, like, he was a sprinter in high school. Like, he started low. And I stopped my car with no flashers on in the middle of Spear. And I took off after this dog. And 4 of us tried to get this dog. Animal hospital came out. And I got so close and then it ran away. But one thing I know is always help out a dog. And 2, I got to start running again. I am out of shape.
I don't know if you do. If you're not running by now, I think, because I know there's some runners on here. And here's my thoughts on runners. Runners, like you look and somebody's like climbing like a 14er here in Colorado, and they're like really into, and you're just like, who would do a 3.5 hour climb on a beautiful day where you could be in a hammock because they have to climb? It's a calling. Runners gonna run.
Yeah, they
do. A real runner when they don't even have any headphones they're raw jogging because they're raw jogging. You came up with that. And if you're not jogging, a runner, I would say do something running adjacent, like the elliptical, because if you're not going to go all in with the running, you're just going to kind of sort of beat your knees up. Yeah. And runners, they get the $200 shoes that are good for their arches. Like, at our age, if you're going to run, that's a lot of pounding.
I know. Don't say it like that. But also, right? I asked him, if you're a hiker, do you need a 14er? And he's like, I'm a medium outside person, and I tend to enjoy staying in and watching movies or going to a nice restaurant. I was like, dude, we are the exact same person. Like, he wasn't a snowboarder. He wasn't like, everyone on Hinge is like, do you want to get fresh powder with me? And I'm like, no, I just want to eat nice steak and like maybe watch a Netflix show.
Yeah.
So he was into that, which was really good.
Right. And I think you guys want to be close, but not identical. You do want your partner, because I just got a video from one of my best friends, John Vargas, and he was like, dude, I was in an argument with my wife because she wanted to go to this balloon exhibit. He lives in Miami, and we got in an argument because I didn't want to go. Of course, I caved because we have kids, and I went, and it was awesome. And I was like, and I was like, that's cool. That's the thing with guys like us. We don't want to go. And then we go and we're like, oh yeah, this is great. My girl's smart. She knows what I like. Yeah. She's telling me, hey, dummy, I'm going to grab you by the ear. Yeah. Pull you out of your sad house. And then you go and you're like, I'm glad I came. So you got to have a little bit of like, they're going to push you, but not too much, not push you to like, can I tell you something? I just had this weird thought, and it's kind of the negative example of this. But I don't know if I buried this memory, but when I was with my ex that stole all my stuff, I was in a bungalow house somewhere near the studio, and the electrical was so bad in that house, or so retro, that only certain electricians were allowed to work on it. Like, yeah, you had to have like a certain license because it was done in the 70s probably, and very dangerous. And I remember we got a ceiling fan, and I took the old one off, and I just knew that these wires, they were like burnt and weird. It looked like when you get pasta and you just wet it a little bit and then put it back at the bottom. It was just like, what are these wires? And I remember being like, I don't feel safe working with this. And she basically called me like the P word. And she was like, I can't believe you're not, we got to see, like, it was so just obviously visibly dangerous. And so like you don't want that, but you do want somebody to be like, Tori, I know that you are scared of heights, but this, like, trust me, this zip line, you're gonna be so happy you did it. That's a different kind of thing, you know?
I agree.
Push it a little bit. All right,
Yeah.
Tori. And speaking of pushing it, I want to see. We're gonna do one quick one of these. So let's surprise the people before we get into the news stories.
And now for your hosts, Al and Tori.
All right, we are doing one quick round of What That Temu Do, where Tori will guess how much these things cost. And hold on, let me take C-Dog's comment down so we can get full.
And everyone in the chat, write in how much you think it will be.
Yes, Tori, explain the game really quickly.
Okay, so he's going to put up a Temu-ish he's going to put up a Temu item, and we're going to guess how much it is. And these are really strange Temu items. So everybody get your I can't think of words. Computer keyboard ready.
You're doing great. Your phone. If you're recovering from a car accident. All right,
like,
Tori,
here we go.
Let's get into our first one. Here we go. Tori, can you tell what these are?
These are animal realistic masks.
Yes, full head masks. So I want you to just tell me which one is more expensive. First of all, I love the frog guy. He's just like, what are you looking at, dude? There's a walrus and a raven. Tori, which one is the most expensive and which one is the cheapest?
So I was gonna say the raven for the feathers, but I gotta tell you, the walrus has the whiskers and the tusks. So I'm going with the walrus. Anyone else? I think it's the walrus.
Okay, and Tori's answer is almost there. There's one that's more expensive. Surprisingly.
The raven?
The raven. That's right.
Okay.
The walrus clocking in at $9.20. The raven just edging it out at $10.25. All right, now Tori, we only have time for one Temu story because obviously there's a lot going on in the news. And let's get to it, my darling dear. Let's go. All right, Tori. Now, yesterday, let's take that down. What if that was our main story today?
I know.
We talked. I do like to kind of show how things tie together. And yesterday, we talked about the fact that the troops have been in DC for a year. It's cost the taxpayers $1.4 billion.
With a B.
Yes. And we hypothesized as to what is the purpose of troops being on the ground in your hometown of DC. You said you see them when you're going
all the time.
Yeah. And I hypothesized, and there's a little doom and gloom, but I was like, if you are going to do something really weird at the midterms, you know it's probably not looking good for your party. It might be better to already have troops on the ground than have them bust in 3 days before the polls open. Everybody's like, why did a platoon of soldiers just go by me? Rather than tip your hand, if they're already there, it might not catch people off guard as much as you would think it would. I messed that sentence up. All right, but Tori, this was today. Did you hear this interview that Donald Trump gave? You heard it? Okay, let's play it for the colleagues.
It can only be overturned by a 2/3 vote of both houses of Congress. So if you do this in the next
I'm going to start it from the beginning.
Security emergency as the president of the United States, they can't challenge it. It can only be overturned by a 2/3 vote of both houses of Congress. So if you do this in the next month, we will get photo ID, proof of citizenship, and a limit to mail-in ballots. And
let me
don't
just say
even
that
need
stranger
the
things have
Senate vote.
happened. Okay, I'll leave it at that.
All right, we'll leave.
Yeah, that is That was very disturbing because, Tori, what did we talk about in terms of them pulling some shenanigans at the midterms? So, what do you think about the Stranger Things Have Happened comment?
I think that what's so scary is the growth of the executive branch. For someone to put up more military asking for IDs, or not asking, forcing IDs, limiting mail-in ballots, you're already taking down the ease of voting, which is like the whole thing with democracy. You're making it harder and harder and harder, right? And for the president to unilaterally do this, by the way, in the Constitution, Congress controls the votes. The states are absolutely in the Constitution. They are in charge of the votes, not the executive branch. So what I think about this is that 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate make it nearly impossible to overturn this. And it's terrifying because he feels he can do whatever he wants to make the voting so much more obstacle based. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to
Right.
hop through this. And back in the day, remember there had to be a reading test or a poll tax. And so many people that didn't learn how to read
Or you
couldn't
had to
do
be a
that.
landowner.
Yeah, exactly. Like exactly. So a lot of black people couldn't do it. If you hadn't learned how, if you were poor, you couldn't do it. We have knocked down those to make voting so much more accessible and open for anyone. And again, the states control the voting process. So it's a violation for me of just like a lot of things. And it really hints the fear of the midterms for me, Al. I really think this is a panicked call. This is like,
Right.
we're calling the red phone. Remember you said you're going to break the glass and pick up the red phone? That's what this is feeling like. He is panicked about this. What do you think?
I mean, I look at it, and again, I like to look at things in the short and the long term. Think about what happened Trump 1.0 with the people trying to overturn the election. You had this woman that just Governor Polis just got out of jail a couple months ago, was one of the last people that was still in jail for trying to overturn the vote. I think Kenneth Chesborough was in there as well. There's a bunch of people that were trying to change votes and just really throw off the vote tallies in their respective states. That plot was foiled because, just like any plot, Tori, too many moving parts. This ain't Ocean's 11 with George Clooney and the late great Bernie Mac, funny, smart, attractive,
clever
people. They sent out 7 people that probably could not send a TikTok video to their niece and had them trying to do stuff that was way over their pay grade. They were immediately caught and put in jail, at least momentarily. So how do you get rid of that? Well, instead of trying to do it individually, state by state, you federalize the vote. We'll just do it from right here on top.
Which is
And
against the Constitution.
Yeah, which is it well, with this Supreme Court, is
Agreed.
anything really off the table? They got rid of
However,
the Voting Rights Act immediately. Roe versus Wade up out of here. I mean, and that was what, within the first 4 months?
agreed. But the last 2 SCOTUS opinions have directly challenged the president and his executive privilege. I don't doubt this will go to the Supreme Court, or it will fail, because this is this directly opposes what the Constitution says. And it doesn't like kind of state it. It states it exactly as it is. The states are in charge of the vote. So he's getting ready. He's preparing and he's panicked. I do want to point out, with a lot of people are saying, Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary, has just quit.
about to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to let people know.
What are your thoughts on that, on her? Do you think, and this is just my my quick thought, do you think it was because her popularity took a hit after she went on that show and basically said people closer to your age, or maybe even her age, were lazy?
Yeah. Not only that, first of all, I can't stand this woman. She is machine gun fire bullshit constantly. She is disrespectful to reporters. She lies. She is awful. I find her just a terrible human being. I'm sorry I'm being so harsh, but I just really can't stand her and her like little mouth and like all she says. And it's just, none of it's true. Right. And so I think she was about to get fired. Now she is pregnant, and there was like maternity leave that she could have gone on.
I thought she just came back from maternity leave.
Oh, is that right? I apologize if I got that wrong.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know why you didn't do it during or during maternity leave and just say, I'm going to take a break. You know what I mean? This reads to me like he was going to fire her, just like the Pam Bondis, just like the Christy Gnomes, another woman. He wants to get a fresh start. His polls are looking terrible. His press is bad. The reputation's going down. The Iran war is not being covered well. It's super unpopular. So why not get someone completely fresh, completely new? That's what he does. He moves on, distracting. So I think that is exactly what he was planning to do. And he gave her the out to quit. But I'm so happy because I find her absolutely atrocious. She's just a plain liar. And she thinks she's got it under her belt. And everyone's like, you're just wrong. You're wrong. So you want your press secretary to disappoint two people. You want them to disappoint the press and disappoint some of the people in the executive branch, because that means you're truthful. You're not making anybody happy because you're telling basically the truth. That's a good sign of a good press secretary. So again, I think he would fire another woman. I think she quit and he gave her that out. But I think now I hope her replacement isn't worse, which it probably will be, but I could not stand watching her. I just could not stand watching her. That's how I feel.
I would say to everything you just said, totally agree, 100% agree, but that's what made her good at her job. And that's why I was so shocked. I mean, because remember Sean Spicer trying to like smirk his way through. He had the biggest crowd. You remember how long ago that felt, Tori?
Yeah.
But Sean Spicer wanted to be on Dancing with the Stars. He likes to get drunk at the DC bars and hang out with both. Sean Spicer doesn't really care. Caroline Leavitt, it seems like, comes from a background, she proudly displayed her faith. And I'm all for that, but it seemed like she would do that.
Necklace.
Yeah,
Always.
but she would do that as she was laying cover for people that are on the Epstein, that are in the Epstein files and are adjudicated sexual batterers. So I thought there was a little bit of disconnection there. But in terms of her being able to do her job well, especially at this crucial time when you need to be on point with your messaging, she definitely misspoke when she had that little thing like, millennials, stop getting $18 Chipotle and pull yourself up from your bootstraps. And everybody's like, didn't you marry a 60-year-old multimillionaire? And she was like, well, I'm not lazy. And everybody's like, stop. So she kind of stepped in it, but how many news cycles ago was that? I agree. I don't know. Do you think she might have something going on?
First of all, it's funny. They said Spicer was on Dancing with the Stars, and she might go on that, which is hilarious.
No, she would not. I mean, I know. Well, you know what I say about Dancing with the Stars? It's a show to.
It's a comeback show.
Well, the special ops show. Those are comeback shows. Like if Tori, you got caught on a hot mic saying something bad about somebody from some random country, and the public hated you. And this has been going, you were like the bad girl of talk shows and you wanted to rehab that image. You got to go on like some CBS show called Special Ops where they're dangling you from a Black Hawk helicopter, dipping you in water, and you come up and you're like, I miss my mom. And then they've been like, okay, you suffered enough. Dancing with the Stars are for attractive people that they want to introduce more to the public, but they can't really do anything.
Well, it's like C-list. It's like C-list people that need a rehab. That's what I think it is.
Right.
But
yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, I have to say that in my opinion, she was going to get fired because, and no one can really make this sound good, she was not making the Iranian war popular. She couldn't find a way around it to ease the press, and they kept asking, and they keep asking, and they keep asking, and she didn't have a spin to make it more popular. And I honestly don't think anybody could do that well.
Absolutely not. There's nothing to say.
No. So I think when he doesn't like something or he's bored, he wants a refresh, like the reflecting pool. Let's make it blue. Like, it's like, let's get this person, let's fire this person. And it's a strategy because it's another shiny object. Meanwhile, we're never talking about the Epstein files. So it's just like a constant way to distract. And I think it's another blonde woman that he wants out of there to replace. And it's just a pattern. It's such a pattern.
Tori, that is a great transition because maybe he's ready for a brunette. Maybe he's ready for this one.
Oh,
in a vaccine press conference before suddenly
let's talk about this video really quickly. Tori, why don't you set it up?
Yeah. Okay. See this aide right here in the brunette here? See Trump sleeping? There's something called Zapgate. Okay. It just kind of came out today. If you watch, her hand is on her stomach. He's asleep. She kind of notices.
Yeah, she's standing like Napoleon.
Or that she's like pregnant or has a tummy ache. And she kind of notices Trump is fully in REM sleep. Okay. And she hits something on her stomach. Like you see the hand move and he zaps awake. So people think there's like something attached to him and something attached to her. And her job is to zap him awake. So you're going to see it. We're going to play this. And it's become a thing, everyone. It becomes a thing.
Let's just run it. Okay, here we go.
Thought she was secretly zapping him awake. Trump appeared to nod off during a vaccine press conference before suddenly jolting upright. The woman beside him had tapped.
If anybody knows what Jeff Dunham's dolls look like, the old man, Walter, Tori, right here.
It does look like that. Totally.
Stop it.
Will you play that again? I just want to see it again. Watch her hand. Okay.
Watch her hand, and I'll. Okay, here we go.
She was secretly zapping him awake. Trump appeared to nod off during a vaccine press conference before suddenly.
Tori, that's something. That's something because her hand goes up and then she taps it. You'll see it move.
Secretly zapping him awake. Trump appeared to nod off during a vaccine
press
conference
something
before suddenly jolting upright. The woman beside him had tapped her stomach, sparking wild online theories that she had pressed a zapper to wake him up. But Jamie Lee Franklin quickly shut down the bizarre claims, writing, "I'm just pregnant, you weirdos." That didn't stop critics from piling in, with some joking.
Hold up, we're the weirdos? You're the one zapping awake a man in the Epstein files who's also the president who's dead sleep in the middle of the day. We're the weirdos. Stop going by three names unless you like assassinated somebody historically. Jamie Lee Franklin, stop it. She probably makes her friends say that too. Like, we're gonna go over Jamie Lee Franklin's house later and not drink. All right, Tori. So how do people in the chat feel? Because sometimes I'm like, okay, you're reaching with, and Tori, I got a little conspiracy. I didn't have enough time.
Al has a conspiracy. A lot of you are saying, what the hell? Yes, LOL. LOL. Yeah. What does she think? Again, if she's not real, some people are saying she's AI. She was real. She was standing next to him.
She AI. I'm not even mad that
she does look like.
I went and verified that video before we put it because I got tricked with the Trump farting one the other day. And there's so many of real and fake farts that it is difficult. All right.
No, it's
are you
true.
guys ready for finish your thought.
If she's pregnant, the movement was just so why did she have her stomach on the whole time? But B, that I don't know, the movement, I don't know if I fully believe it, but there's something. Now Brandon said we need audio. He may have farted himself awake again. So
once again,
I don't know.
That would have seemed
theory.
like a silly thing for Brandon to say a year ago or any other president. And we're all like, yeah, he might have.
Yeah.
He's ruined everything. All right, Tori, we never play this one, but we got to because I was listening to a weirdo podcast yesterday and I made this weird connection. So this is for you.
That's super sus. Sus.
It's
way to
sus.
Go, Star.
All right. Well, let's see if you think this is sus, right?
Okay.
So, I haven't put down the Andrew Tate narrative. I've been forever curious about just like, who is this dude that seemingly came out of nowhere and he made all this money. He's done a couple reality shows and then all of a sudden he was everywhere. And there have been long thought ideas that he was working for the government in some way, almost like Epstein was. And if you think about Epstein, can't really figure out what his money was from.
Nobody can figure that out.
There's a little bit of a cover story with like Bear Stearns, but that falls apart. And with Andrew Tate, it was like, he's using girls as webcam models or whatever, OnlyFans. Yeah, but you don't have like, I have 6 Bugattis and 2 private planes money off of we're strange amounts of wealth. And Tori, would you guess who his father worked for? 3 letters. CIA. We don't have all day. Holy God. Jesus. the PBA Pro Bowling Association.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, okay, that we ain't even got started. So Tori, so his dad works for the CIA, right? And then this douchebag out of nowhere all of a sudden is just in control of every man. He's put in front of every screen of anybody under the age of 18.
Yes, manosphere.
He gets in trouble clearly in England for SA accusations.
Which is the second or third time he's gotten in trouble, by the way. Go ahead.
Yes. And then
that's why he went to London, to get away from the other one. Go ahead.
That's right. And then where did he go? Where did he eventually become jailed first?
It wasn't the UK.
I mean the UK, and then where? Romania. He had his flying privileges taken away. Remember, the Romanian police kicked in the door, like Biggie kicking the door, waving the 4-4. They kicked in the door and arrested him. And that's when the US stepped in and allowed him to fly back out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Why would you stick your neck out for this random guy?
He was extradited back. Exactly.
He was extradited back. And Tori, I was like, Romania, why does that ringing a bell? And I was like, oh, guess who else had I don't know, an adoption agency for Romanian orphans in their early 20s?
Don't say Epstein.
Erica Kirk. She had
that's right.
She had an adoption agency called Romanian Angels. Romania has, and this is just a fact, it has one of the worst child trafficking issues in the world. Do you guys think it's weird that these two people, because Tori, when I was 23, I was living in Miami trying to drink all of the Kettle One vodka that they had in that state, in that city. Shout out Dade County, 305-786. What's up? Erica Kirk randomly at 23 is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go set up, I'm going to help facilitate an orphanage. Where? Here in the States? Where you're from? I know her mom also worked for the CIA. And no, you're not going to do that anywhere here in the States where we need lots of help. Kids are losing their SNAP benefits. You're going to go to another country. I don't know. I'll pick one out of that. Romania. Now, Tori, what do you think the reason that her orphanage closed down? Why do you think that Romanian Angels is no longer a thing?
Was it accused of sex trafficking?
It was.
Wow. There's a lot of, I have Romania to be seen if this is real, but there's a lot of connections here. There's a lot of links.
Look it up. I'm just saying that there's just a lot of, and when I just saw this interview and they asked Marco Rubio, a Secretary of State, if he would be helping the UK extradite them back to face charges. Of course, what's the first thing he said, Tori, without you even having seen it?
If
I haven't, what hasn't Marco Rubio done? So he can answer the question.
He doesn't know the facts.
He doesn't know the facts. Just the way I didn't know. I would have been a straight A student. During the midterms, I'd be like, Miss Shulman, I haven't looked at this. You're freaking what? And then the reporter's like, okay, next. What?
Yeah.
You don't know the Andrew Tate case?
Not only that, that's the new. So my dad's firm, I shouldn't say this, but they came up with the way to do defense where your thing was, I don't recall. So it wasn't always like that, but Oliver North started it and he was acquitted with, I don't recall. He said it I don't recall. And you can't fight back that like he does have the memory. So it's a really good way to like get out of something. This is the new I don't recall. Oh, I don't know the facts. So Jim Jordan did that with Dana Bash. I don't know the facts. I don't know the facts of Max Miller. And she goes, we'll have you back when you do know the facts, and cut him off. And I'm like, that's better to understand that you as a representative who's already covered abuse for someone should know exactly what's happening in your state. In Ohio, you should be aware and can't get away with that. So I hope reporters are like, there's no way you don't know the facts. And if you do, you shouldn't be representing Ohio constituents.
Yeah. I mean, when you're accused of keeping the lid on the biggest SA case in the history of your state that you currently live in, that you are the Republican speaker for, wouldn't it behoove you to know the facts about the second biggest case? What you should be, of all people, chiming in, sir.
Yeah.
Well, what I did, what you do is you say you'll be back after lunch, and then you never show. That was my trick. You don't know when I left the note. Oh, I'm sorry. I left that up since last Tuesday. Tori, you know who won't be showing up to lunch for a while because it appears that they are not going to continue to try and be the Republican nominee for governor in the great state of Minnesota, and that would be Mike Lindell.
Mike, the pillow, my pillow.
My pillow. Tori, say what you want about Trump, and we have said a lot. If you ride with him, he will throw you under the bus 1,800 times
and then run
allow you to lose your pillow empire, which is like amazing. You talk about somebody whose life is he was smoking crack. He then went to the mountaintop and then went back to the crack houses, but just had a much more comfortable mattress. So now Mike Lindell is down by double digits in the race to be the Republican representative. Tori, I don't know if you know that much math, but that's as many digits as you can be down in a race. He is not doing well. Let me read this for you. He refuses to concede, and I'm sure you can guess why. Lindell suggested that there were voting anomalies and hundreds of thousands of ballots left to count, even though every precinct has now reported and Lisa DeMuth won by more than 45,000 votes. Lindell will not accept it. First of all, who voted? This is what I need from you. This is what I need from you. I need you to give me the voting profile of a man who unironically, or woman, or they unironically voted for Mike Lindell. Like what do they think?
What's their demo? First off, Renee
are they just like he's a fighter.
Yeah. Right. Renee just said those pillows are awful. Here's what I think. You know, when the Daily Show sends out their people to interview people in like the Trump lines getting ready to go in, and they say like the 1913 or something was the best, what we talked about yesterday, the best decade for America. And people are like, so when women couldn't vote, and they're like, right, except for that part, right? It's those people. It's with the Trump bedazzled. It's I'm never going to change. It's the, what do we say, 22% of his base that's left. It is the diehards that will never believe he does anything wrong. And Mike Lindell is attached to Trump, so of course I'm going to vote for Trump. But he is so toxic to anyone around him. I mean, everybody, they ran away from him like someone just crop dusted the whole town, you know? So to say it's voter fraud when you're that far down is using the Roy Cohn Republican way or MAGA way. And sometimes it doesn't work. Like it obviously doesn't work ever. But like, who's even going to believe that? Like,
I mean, it's so bad. Tori, it's so bad. Do you remember like randomly, like last week, I had Michael Dean pull that video up with that drunken woman in court with Rudy Giuliani. I realized the reason I did that is because I'm such a politics nerd that when I was on the cruise with SAR, I saw that Trump had nominated Lindell. So I was looking at stuff and it just took me down like this. It was like walking into an old room at your grandma's house where you're like, oh yeah, I remember Carrie Lake and all these psychopaths. And so like, that's why I had that woman in my thoughts, but I was looking at a lot of local Minnesota Republicans and they were like, this guy's going to kill us. We're going to look like fools because for as much as I miss the days when I could just disagree with the Republican or be like, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, right.
There are still some normal ones that are just like, if we walk into the party with this guy, nobody's going to dance with us because you look crazy. They'll be like, who brought the guy that's in the bathroom doing God knows what with my mama styles? You know, like you can't be associated with, I'll get him. We're going to leave. Like, you know, you're not taking no girls with you. It's over. And like he killed the party in Minnesota.
And not only that, may I say, there's a strong stroke that this is also a replication of what Trump is like. It's like when he had the concert, everybody was like, actually, we're going to walk away. So they both have become persona non grata. They are toxic, which is your favorite Britney Spears song, to anyone around them, because they know the legacy, the reputation, the foolishness, the lies. It's not going to go over well. But he's like one of the worst. I mean, he's like, to me, insane. Now, I'm not a clinician, but the things he says, something's wrong up here. Like something is not making sense. So good on Minnesotans to understand that. He's going to say this election thing is fraud, but it's going to the wind. No trial no court would take that. I mean, he has no standing. It's just air. And he's just going to play this game. And in my mind, he's just going to be someone we forgot about. That's what I hope this happens. I thought
he was headed that way, and then he was put up to be governor of Minnesota. Maybe he's just like, Trump's like, clearly after ICE, I'm not going to win Minnesota, so I might as well throw a friend a bone, and maybe that's what he was doing here. All right, Tori, let's move on, because I wanted to talk about this as I accidentally scrolled up to the wrong story. Sorry, I'm doing Michael Dean's job. First of all, shout out Michael Dean. We love you. He will be back tomorrow. All right, Tori, let's talk about this here.
And about the Lakers?
Oh,
I want to talk about the Lakers.
Yes, let's talk about that really quickly. All right, let's get into a little sports. Tori, the Lakers were sold to a Kushner and an Eisner, but apparently it's the cool Kushner. I didn't know that there's Jacob Kushner. I thought Jared.
It's Josh Kushner and Bob Iger.
Yeah, I thought one was Jacob. I thought it was Jacob. I know it's Bob Iger. He's Disney.
Oh, you said Eisner. So
I did. I fucked that up. Thank you. And I just realized that. I'm like, I said Michael Eisner. I said it's Ebony and Ivory. Listen. So, Tori, what do you think about the sale of the Lakers? I'll pull the facts up, but I think it was $12.5 billion.
Yep.
And I guess the person that bought it last year bought them, I guess like just a year ago, bought them for $10 billion and sold it for an extra 2.5 billion. So that's a good come up, right? So Tori, what do you think about that? I found that kind of shocking.
Yeah, I could understand Iger, like, because of his monopoly of owning so many things at Disney. Like I could see that. That wouldn't shock me. You know what I mean? I could see that. The Kushner add-in makes it smellier and stinkier than a Seattle fish market in the summer on a Saturday. There's something there with the Kushners. The $2 billion that Jared got from the Saudis, that's never been explained. The whole thing with the Kushners are just a question mark. Like, so when you add a Kushner in, you've put a big black cloud of sus over the whole take. So interesting, Black Asian.
Isn't that interesting?
Now we know why LeBron left. Wow. That is a great call. Did you think about that, Al?
I did not. And it makes a lot of sense in that, like, I'm a big hoops fan, and as for a prestigious team like the Lakers, arguably the league's flagship franchise, these teams, even if they pay a lot of money and they're not good, like, by the way, randomly, the Boston Red Sox were one of the worst teams in the league and then went on 2 15-game winning streaks. It's never been done, and they're kind of back in the mix. But even when they were terrible, they spent a lot of money. These flagship franchises of baseball, basketball, football, football's kind of even playing field, but they spend a lot of money because they have to be good. And I just feel like the Lakers haven't been doing that. I texted my friend the lineup for the guys that were starting with LeBron in the playoffs, and I was like, I would argue that most of these guys should be out of the league, not even not playing. Like, they're washed up players. And I'd never understood what the Lakers are doing, and maybe they were bottoming out as a new buyer was coming in, but it just seemed like a team that didn't have that passion where, like, people would say, the Cavaliers have been in the Shulman family since my great-grandfather, and over my dead body, are we going to not go to the playoffs? Like, there's a passion behind some of these teams, and the Lakers just feel like cryptocurrency being traded now.
Yeah, it's
There's
like a
no heart
Bitcoin.
to that team. Yeah.
Yeah, it is
It's
weird.
just random.
I want to say what Black Asian said, because I mean, I would have thought this is crazy, but the Kushners are very connected to the Arab states. The Saudis, very connected. First of all, the Kushner father was arrested for fraud. So this whole family is like cloaked in illegal activities in so many ways. And there's so many question marks. But Black Asian said the Kushner is to cover for the UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates.
Oh, stop it.
I
Hold
don't
on.
I
Wait a
don't
second.
hate that theory because of the connection to the Arab world and how much they want to be part of sports. They want to get into the American world of different things. So I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that's a really interesting theory. You can't say Kushner without thinking of the Arab states. You really can't. They are connected in a strong, strong way. So Black
Absolutely, you
Asian might
cannot.
have a point.
You know what? Black Asian might have to make me do this, Tori.
That's super sus. Sus.
I agree.
That is
I
a
agree.
great connection. If you think about the Live Golf, which is a Saudi-backed golf tournament that was supposed to compete against the PGA Tour.
In
That was about
Riyadh.
in Riyadh. That was about to go under. And then all of a sudden they got a random contributor to help the league going, keep the league going. And a lot of the ways that the Gulf states try and exert influence in the American market is through sports washing.
Yeah.
And we've seen it time and time again. The UFC has matches in Saudi Arabia, the WWE, all these people that are so American. How come they don't get shit? They took these comics and
I was going to say
barbecued
the
and
comedy
filleted them.
show. Remember the comedy show?
Yeah. And I can see how you can feel one way or the other about that. But the WWE is over there all the time. I know MMA has had matches in Saudi Arabia. I know that for a fact. So
yeah,
like,
and the way that
what
they,
is it?
Aziz Ansari went to that comedy show. Many people went, and I cannot tell you what a hit to women that was, because women in Saudi Arabia and other Arab countries are treated like fourth class citizens. And they were like, well, screw it. We're still going to go because of the money. Not a good thing to have on your resume, especially for female fans of yours. And it's still like a thing. Like, it's still like when Nelly and Snoop did the inauguration and we're like, what the heck is going on here? So you're absolutely, yeah, Bill Burr went. I remember that. All these people were like, you're going to go to that and support someone that will take down someone that was SA'd as a woman and she gets in trouble because of it. They can't drive, they can't learn, they're not educated. And you're going to support that in that way? Not a great call. So the Arab states really, or countries really want to get involved in the entertainment, not just sports, but like American entertainment as a whole. And some people are willing to do it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I mean, to your point though, Tori, and I agree with everything that you just said. I think there could be an argument made, and I'm not making this argument because I love to argue, but I want to make sure I can stand on it. What would you say to somebody that said, well, if we want to help progress them in their views of women and just people, gay marriage, all that kind of stuff, the best way to do that is to kind of show them parts of our culture and being able to show through humor that we're all human?
I would say this, two things. One, then make jokes specifically about Saudi Arabian women or Gulf states women because of the horrific ways that they were treated and are treated. Malala Yousafzai got shot in the face for promoting girls going to school. Okay. Secondly, the way you stand up to Saudi Arabia and the way that they treat their women is you protest. You don't take the check. You sit down, just like the civil rights. You do not leave, you don't go. And saying that, like Bill Burr's like, I'm not going because of the way they treat their women. If they treat their women differently, now we have a conversation. But the protest is in not go there and have a joke and maybe talk about it a little. It's in you refuse to go to a country that allows their women and girls to be treated as animals in a lot of ways. So in my opinion, you don't go when you're trying to make an argument. You've already lost the argument. You know what I mean? That's, to me, I would protest. That's how I would be.
All right. Point taken. All right. I mean, Tori, I mean, there's I totally agree with you. But as we're talking, I believe he was Russian for a little while before Jay-Z bought it from him. There was like a Russian oligarch that owned the Brooklyn Nets, like Prokolov
Yeah,
or
that's right.
Prokop or something. And are we okay with the way Russia does business? And if that's the case, is this the rule? Do we need
Yes.
to be okay with how you do things before we do business with you? Because I
Yeah.
mean, like I say, it's all good till it affects you.
Agreed.
And I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, you know, I don't know. I'm sure there's some colleagues that are wearing Air Force Ones right now. What if you find out they're made in a factory? What about these iPhones? I know for a fact that
Right.
some of those factory conditions ain't great. So you ready to go down to a Razor? Remember the old Razor phones?
Oh,
You
yeah.
ready to do a Nextel
Yes.
because of your values? And I mean, I'm not saying that to come at people. It's more me asking myself, like, I do think there are times you need to stand on business and stand on your principles, but there are some times where you're like, all right, can we just order this from Temu? I know it's not good. I know it should not have cost me $2. I know
Yeah,
that's not
and
good,
I do want to say you're absolutely right. Someone wrote in, I apologize. They are allowed to drive, and there has been some reform to get them to be educated. 3 universities allow them to enroll, but the way they treat protesters and women and girls in general has to be noted that it's not equal, not fair, and they're slowly making reform. So I just wanted to get that fact true, and let that out there because I didn't want to put it in a false way. But in no way are they seen as equal to the men out there. So
I totally get this. All right, get that, Tori. All right, let's do this because I want to move on to your school. So let's do this. Oh, that's right, y'all. We are moving on, and we're able to do that with Spider. That's right, Spider. Moving and storage. They have been with us forever. Tori, hit them with that number, please.
720-545-3187. Some of you need moving a couch, a TV. They can do that.
That's right. They absolutely can. All right. I just love. I've talked to Tori probably more than almost anybody in my entire life. And there's a time sometimes where I just know I'm like, she got like 3 words left. And because it starts off Star Spangled Banner fireworks. She's like, let me tell you something. In this country, we care about women's rights. We care about civil rights. And we're going to be moving on. it just kind of
I've run out of steam. Like I've run out of steam.
Sometimes when you talk for a living, y'all, sometimes you just look and there's nothing there. All right. So Tori, I wanted to get to this story really quickly. We're going to move on to your school. Big Blue. That's right. University of Michigan is experimenting with something radically different for incoming freshmen, but it kind of reminds me of your high school experience. No letter grades on their transcripts during their first semesters. Professors will still assign grades privately, but official records will simply show pass or no credit in an effort, supporters say, to ease pressure during the difficult transition. Is this a good way to like help ease you into college, or is this a way for creepy professors to DM you like, I have your real grade?
First of all, your tone suggests you don't think this is a good idea. Like I've said across from you.
By the way, that was a Temu. I just got a Temu alert. By the way, the Strait of Hormuz is really messing with my deliveries. Holy effing
a lot of people, Al. You can. It's not deliveries. It's gas prices.
I'm waiting on fabric. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So
I want to say 2 things. I went to University of Michigan. Many of you know this. I had a very hard time. I got very depressed my freshman year. It was extremely cold. I didn't join a sorority. It was way too big for me. There wasn't a way to find community. I can make a friend with like a lamppost. I could not find a friend to save my life. And I got really, really depressed. And that's when I started Prozac and seeing a therapist. I'm very transparent about that. It was one of the hardest times in my life. Would it have made it easier for me to make the academics not so hard, or you don't have to have the pressure of it? To be honest, the academics were the only thing keeping me on the line. Like they were giving me structure. I loved the learning I learned at Michigan. Like that was the best part of Michigan. The professors, they were all great. And I strove to make good grades. And so when I was like down and in the bed in depression, it was the one thing that would get me out was like, you got to study for this test. You got to do your papers. So I also went to, on the other side, a very, very, elite academic progressive school in DC. A lot of senators' kids, justices' kids, all that. And we did not get a GPA. We only got like a letter sent by teachers of how we did in terms of our grades. And that was so you don't compete, and you all did that. And it was done well. But I still got letter grades on my papers, on my tests, stuff like that. We also
By the
called
way,
our
Tori's
teachers.
school was so progressive. Her teachers gave her grades in feelings. I feel like Tori had like a jubilicious semester. I
It was
think
hard.
next year we're hoping that she can be extraordinary awesome. Like you need like something.
No, right. But let me
So
tell
how
you
do
this.
you know who did well? Who's the
So
valedictorian?
we would get grades, and so it would put you in a certain level, but the school itself knew GDS, and they knew that they were going to get specifics about the student, which when I met with the college admissions people, they were happy to have read and understand more than A student, B student, 4.0, 3.9. You're just numbers. So our school took in the account of like, how are they learning? How do they lead in a classroom? What is their best part of this? And that to me is more helpful in college admissions than like a number, right? So there's that. But I don't think this feels a little bit like everybody gets a prize. You know what I mean? Everyone gets a trophy. And so it worries me. I'm not sure where I stand. I had a terrible time my freshman year, and people transitioning to freshman year, no one talks about how bad their mental health is. Leaving your parents, homesick, trying to find friends,
You
academics.
forget how young these kids are. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
like I was lost. So I don't know, maybe that would help. But again, the academics and the striving to do well was the only thing keeping me sort of out of bed at that point. So I want to see on the comments if you guys agree with this, Michigan, or not. I know Leonard said
let me
Donald
say
Trump.
this.
Yeah, please.
I'll just say this. Tori, at first, I kind of like, oh, what are they doing? But I always say, for the most part, rules don't come out of nowhere.
Yeah, there must be data.
They must, like you said, there must be data where they're like every year for the last 5 years. I have a friend of mine, and he told me this is maybe 2 years ago. He's a professor, and he teaches freshman English. And he told me if I typed in mental health day into my email search subject bar, he's like, it would fill 100 pages.
Yeah.
This generation is much more interested in their mental health. I'm not really even that mad at that. And
no,
I think
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, Michigan is responding to their customer base in a way,
and not only that, Al, they're a top state university, right? What they do trickles down to other state universities. So if they saw an issue with this,
what do you mean, cheat in football? They had a guy that was stealing signals.
Okay,
standing
Ohio.
right next to the coach.
Who won?
No, there's
the
a
last
documentary
game
about it.
between Michigan and Ohio. Who won?
You guys did, because we're not even playing hard, because we know we're not going to get a fair shot.
Okay. Where did Tom Brady go to school? Oh, right. Okay, Michigan. I just want to say that C-Dog said what I think. You can't really grade the overall brain with a number. That's what my school believed in, and maybe they're seeing such.
I buy that.
I was really low. Like when I say low, I mean at the lowest point where you can be, right? And if
we'll call that apple bottom jeans low.
With the fur, I don't know this. I don't know.
Sorry, yeah, you got it.
Low, but like
low. Okay.
Low. But if it does cure and get your students to be happier, which makes for better admissions, advertising, reputation, alumni, legacy, it's worth it. Because even of the money that they're going to put to the endowment, which I think we have the largest one in the country. So if they're seeing a drop, in mental health, then you're going to see a lot of students annoyed at Michigan or irritated or having a terrible time. That's not a good reputation for the school that's known as the coolest school in the country. So clearly they see a drop, and there needs to be some changes. And I wonder if this will trickle down to other universities. But I got to be honest, I was part of that data freshman year. I was so down. And so
Yeah.
I just
I
feel like,
appreciate you being honest. And you know
yeah,
what? Like having this
yeah,
conversation, this is why I love the show. I'll be honest, because when I saw the story, I was like, I already know that sucks, whatever. But like as you were talking, I was like, this they're doing this for a reason.
yeah,
And if that reason helps one kid, a couple kids not have a disastrous start to their college career, maybe you have to
right.
drop out, go back home. God knows what happens. A lot of people say, I'm coming back. You never see them again.
Yeah,
And so,
transfer. I
like,
was going to
yeah,
transfer.
yeah. And so I don't even think I'm mad at this. And if you want to get into a financial just commentary really quickly, what you want from your alumni is to have a great time at your school
Exactly.
and become
Exactly.
alumni that donates. So
Exactly.
this is
Just
smart on
like
the front end and the back end.
I agree. Just like Sea Dog just gave us $20. We are so
Oh,
thankful for
C-Dog,
that,
come
Sea
on,
Dog.
man.
She said, gracias for the thought. I just appreciate you guys talking about this and donating because I think there's something here. I also want to say this, Al. Your grades in college don't really mean that much. Like when you go into interviews, I went to University of Michigan. That's on there. I got an honors, program. No one's asking me what grade I got in like freshman year chemistry. Like your grades in high school help you get into college, but does college grades, do they really help you get into a better workforce, or does your college, like, have you ever gone on an interview, Al, and had to say what grades you got at Tougaloo
No, no,
or Brown?
no.
Never.
I
Yeah.
think what all of it is, what most of college is, and especially how it started, is a place for the kids of the elite to meet and marry.
It's networking.
And
That's
yeah,
networking.
but networking to keep the family, just like back in the dark ages, a king would have his daughter marry the son of some duke because you're trying to consolidate your land, consolidate your money and your army. So you keep it in the family. You don't let her marry some random peasant. And to a lesser extent,
It's still
college,
happening.
especially when it starts, yeah, it's just like, hey, we're gonna send our daughter that we dropped $60,000 into her high school education to, and we're gonna meet some other dude's son that studied in Amsterdam for 2 years of his high school, and now he's over here and he speaks 3 languages, and y'all are gonna meet. He's gonna be well to do, you're well to do, and we keep it in the family. In a weird way, Tori, for as much as it's such a popular story, Romeo and Juliet is a fear of many parents. They don't want you hooking up with anybody that's deemed as lower or less than.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
and
think
it's really kind of sad.
the daughter of the president or prime minister of, I'm so sorry, an Asian country married someone who was like not royalty, and she fully got disowned and wasn't allowed to be part of the royalty anymore. So it still's going. But what's I think what's interesting to me too is University of Wharton, Pennsylvania, Wharton, one of the top business schools in the country. My friends have gone there. Trump went there, said he was valedictorian. There's no evidence of that. He was apparently in the lowest part of the class in terms of grades. But Lauren, my friend who went there, said there's so many dances, parties, and a lot of it is to find another Wharton person to either marry, get to know, start to date, network, become part of a business partner. And a lot of it is just plain networking with the elite. So I just truly agree with you. And again, I don't
Makes
know
a lot
any
of
Wharton
sense.
person. Yeah, I don't know any Wharton kid that's had to say what grade they got in any grade. It's just that you see Wharton and you're like, okay, gotcha. So
Right. And also
yeah,
to put a fine point on it, because you nailed it. If a Wharton freshman girl meets a cute Wharton freshman guy, they get together, they live their life together, have a kid. Guess where that kid's probably going to go?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It's called paying it
Yeah,
forward. All right, Tori, do you have a fact of the day so we can get up
I
out of
sure
here?
do.
Tori, I'm excited.
Okay, is everyone, you want to play the thing?
Oh yeah, we haven't played it in a while.
No.
You know what? When Michael Dean gets when he controls it, I get lazy. Here it is. All right, Tori.
Okay.
Tori's fact of the day.
Sea Dog, Trump at breakfast. By the way, Smarty Jones thinks I'm really cute and thinks I should do a 4-hour show. And I just want to say thanks because I'm really vain. Okay, here is your.
I take all my advice from people named Smarty. and it's led me here. So I say go for it. Start your own pod.
Agreed. Renee just gave us 1999 super sticker. We love you, Renee.
Oh.
You've been so wonderful to us. We really appreciate that. And you've had some great points, really good points. So thank you for
Lots of
sticking
good
with
points
us.
today.
Yeah, and being a great colleague. I really appreciate that. Smarty says, I know you're cute. Thanks, Smarty. Smarty Jones sounds like a Kentucky Derby horse, doesn't it? Smarty Jones coming up the corner.
Oh my God, it absolutely does. That's a great call.
Okay, here's what the fact is. And maybe I should ask this as a question. What continent? Nope. Yes. Starting
so your
off
fact
strong.
of the day is a question.
Well, I want people to write in. Did you know which continent is in all 4 hemispheres? The only one.
Antarctica?
Write in.
Antarctica?
Incorrect.
Australia?
Incorrect. And is that a continent?
Yeah, isn't it?
We sound like idiots. Asia? Incorrect.
Africa?
Correct.
I always forgot there's that thing, I forgot what it's called, where they make Africa smaller on maps.
Always.
Africa is gigantic.
It's enormous.
You can't imagine. I told my friend Brian Babylon, he went to Lagos, Nigeria 2 years ago, and he sends me a message from there, and it's a great way to end. He goes, bro, I've never seen them send any black people. I'm from the south side of Chicago. He goes, Nigeria is like 120 Atlantas all stuck together.
Wait, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's just like so real. But I just like I don't think when you look at the population centers of just like major cities, you're like, there's 38 million people just in that city.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, it's insane. Same in China too.
Very much in India as well. I will say,
oh yeah,
Australia is the smallest continent. We sound like idiots, but you were right. I apologize. And Smarty Jones says that's why he picked his name, Kentucky Derby winner 04.
Oh, look
Smarty
at you,
Jones.
like...
He says, you continue to break my heart. You're so awesome. I hope you could come back, Smarty Jones. Every day.
I'm gonna let you guys do this offline, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Remember to tell a friend to tell a friend. We can't thank you guys enough for the great comments today. You guys, your comments spin us off in other directions, and we couldn't do it without you. And honestly, I could do it without Tori, but I couldn't do it without you, colleagues. So let's talk about that offline. Tori, I love you. I'm glad everything went good yesterday, girl. Yes. You're the best.
See.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Fingers crossed.